Hey guys, good morning. My name is John over at CheatSheetPros.com, and today we're going to talk about sports betting. For the people that don't know, I ran a sports handicapping website in college for 5 years with a buddy of mine, and the industry kind of went downhill, and of course that was several years ago. But now, as sports betting is becoming legalized in most states, I'm incorporating more of our sports betting stuff into our daily fantasy cheat sheets so you can use them together. Because most of the people who play daily fantasy sports are also doing some kind of sports betting. So right now our NFL algo best bets are 11-3 on the year in NFL, and we've been very picky with what we release, so we have a solid record and we're protecting that. Also, we usually give you a 3-team 10-point teaser each week, and we have not lost one yet this year. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take my NFL cheat sheet and show you my 3-team NFL teaser for week 17, the games that I'm personally going to bet, and then I'm also going to flip it and show you 2 pivot games that you can put in there and show you what it looks like on our cheat sheets that I also use for sports betting. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first game that I like is the Saints over Carolina. The line on this, you can see here, opened at 11.5 and quickly moved to -13. So on a 10-point teaser, you're going to lay Saints -3, which isn't terrible. They do need to win the game. Looking at our cheat sheet, what jumps out at me is Carolina is giving up 145.4 rushing yards per game. So I think you're going to see a lot of Latavius Murray, Alvin Kamara. The Saints are going to get up to a lead. Once they know they've got the game won, they're going to run the clock out. I would not lay the 13. I think that's kind of risky. But on a teaser, for them to win by 3 or more, I do like that. Now the second game that I want to show you, let me scroll down here, is Tennessee over Houston. So if Tennessee wins this game, they're in. So win and in. Tannehill has really turned this team around. Our algo has this as a pretty tight game, 25-24 roughly. Line opened at Pick'em, and now it's out to Tennessee -3.5. So with that defense, a lot of people are jumping on Tennessee. So when you put this on a teaser, you take that -3.5, and now you get +6.5. So we think this game will be a 3 or 4 point game. It'll be close, and I think +6.5 is just, it's an easy pick for me. So that's one that I really like. And when I'm looking at the cheat sheet here, the one thing that jumps out at me is both teams are kind of so-so in rushing yards allowed per game, but both teams are allowing a ton of passing yards per game. So this could potentially get high scoring. The total opened at 48. It's now moved down to 45.5, so it's dropped 2.5 points. Houston's given up 270.3 passing yards per game, which is 30th in the NFL. So I think Tannehill will have a heyday in this game and at least be able to keep it close. Even if they lose the game by 3 or 4, +6.5 is a lock on our teaser. So that's one that I really like. Also, they rested Derrick Henry last week, so I think he should be a good go for this week. So my third game to finish up my 3-team 10-point teaser that I'm going to go with is San Francisco. So you can see here on the cheat sheet that we don't have the players in there because it's a primetime game, so we haven't loaded it yet. So skipping all the fantasy stuff aside, this line opened up at San Francisco +1, and now it's San Francisco -3.5. So we have a 4.5 point line move towards the 49ers. So San Francisco and Seattle, this should be a pretty good game. So Vegas has it set up about 25-22, give or take a half a point. They do have San Francisco winning the game, and our custom model has this a little bit higher. We have it as a 30-22 game, so 52 total points being scored, and San Fran putting up 30. The one thing that jumps out here is Seattle's defense. So they're allowing the 24th most rushing yards per game and the 26th most passing yards per game. So I think San Francisco is easily going to be able to score. And just like our last game, we're going to take this +3.5, put it on a 3-team 10-point teaser, and go to +6.5. So this game's close. It could become a shootout. It could be a big defensive game for both teams where they both step up. But either way, if San Francisco loses by 3 or 4, +6.5 is easy money. But I think they will win this game, because if they win this game, they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs and a first-round bye. And that's huge for them. Now, those are the 3 games that I like for my teaser that I'm going to hammer. If you don't like one of those games, I have a couple pivot games that I wanted to give you that I also like. So one of them here is Kansas City. So Kansas City opened up at -7.5, quickly moved out to -9. Kansas City's playing at home, and they score the fourth most points per game in the NFL at 28. Looking here, both teams line up pretty much about the same. Kansas City's on an uphill climb, and the Chargers are just on a downhill skid. However, these two teams do play pretty close. I've been to a lot of the primetime games where Kansas City and the Chargers have played, and it usually always comes down to the wire, so I don't like laying the 9 points. But if you want to pivot off one of those teaser games and go to Kansas City +1 or pretty much to win the game, I would be fine with that. I live in Kansas City and I'm a huge Chiefs fan, so I try not to put my money on the Chiefs because I feel a little biased with it, but that is one of the pivot games that I do like. Yeah, I think Mahomes could have a big game here, but I'm going to be watching it, and I don't want to bet on it, so it won't be in one of mine. The second pivot game that I like is... Actually, I apologize. I have a couple pivot games for you. So, Packers. So, the Packers want to win this game, and they're going up against Detroit. Detroit doesn't have anything else to play for. Line opened up at Packers -10.5. Now it's out to 12.5. So, on a 10-point teaser, you get Packers -2.5. So, you're under the field goal hook, so we're good there. Also, Detroit's giving up the most passing yards per game in the entire NFL at 282.6. So I think Aaron Rodgers has a heyday. He's going to throw all over the field. They're going to be able to score a lot of points. I don't think they're going to have any issues here. And defensively, so Green Bay's defense is pretty solid. They're allowing the 9th least amount of points per game. And Detroit is just, they're struggling. So I don't think Green Bay has a problem winning here. And the other pivot game I want to give you, let me find it, is Dallas. Let me find that thing on here. So Dallas has to win this game, and they need a little bit more help to get into the playoffs. And the other game is also going on at the same time, so they're going to be motivated to play here. Line opened at Dallas -7, and it shot out to -10.5. So on a 10-point teaser, you're basically taking Dallas pick'em, Dallas to win the game. One of the things that jumps out here why I think Dallas can win, Washington's giving up the 29th most rushing yards per game at a little over 141. So I think Ezekiel Elliott has a big day. He's going to carry the rock a lot, and I don't think they're going to have any issues winning this game. So I like that as a pivot game. So you've got the 3 games that I like that I'm going to use on my personal teaser, and then I gave you 3 pivot games that you could add in there or flip-flop that you do like. So I hope you guys like this, and good luck, everybody. Thank you.